present here. COVID-19 pandemic has had a major effect on our lives. Many of us are facing challenges that can be really stressful and overwhelming. Public health actions like social distancing are necessary to prevent the spread, but these are making people more lonely and isolated. So, learning to cope with stress is one of the best thing that we can do in these situations. So exercise and yoga are the best to relieve stress and enhance immunity. So exercise provides us a better mental health and helps us in reduction of stress and anxiety. Today, we've gathered here for COVID stress appropriate behavior training session. Myself, Yagnamanasa, NSS volunteer of Dr. NTR UHS, studying 3rd MBBS in Dr. Pinnamaneni Siddhartha Institute of Medical Sciences, Vijayawada, welcomes you all to the program. Now I take the privilege to welcome Dr. Vivekanand Garu, NSS Program Coordinator of Dr. NTR UHS, Andhra Pradesh. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Amma.
Now I'm pleased to invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Shyama Prasad Garu, onto the dais. We welcome you, sir.
I think Shyam Prasad sir, we maybe you can go ahead, Mansa, no problem.
I'm glad to invite our Honorable Registrar of Dr. NTR UHS, Dr. Shankar Garu. Pleasant welcome to you, sir. Now I take the privilege to welcome Dr. P. Srinivas Rao Garu, Professor of Dr. Pinnamaneni Siddhartha Institute of Medical Sciences and Research Foundation, Vijayawada. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I mean, you were staring, so I thought I was not audible.
Yes, you are audible, sir. Please.
Now I request our NSS Program Coordinator, Dr. Vivekanand Garu, who is also a Yogachari today, we will be having today, to deliver a welcome address.
Thank you very much, Yagna Manasa. I am very happy today, even though we are in the humanitarian crisis and second wave of COVID. Last year, during this time, once again, we were in the lockdown. Probably it is a little severe compared to the last year. Still, we are surviving and everybody is healthy, happy, and they are following all COVID etiquettes. But coming to the COVID stress management, it's really, I wonder, because students, aged people, patients, and the relatives of the patients, certainly they are going through a lot of stress and strain. Either it may be a physical stress or it may be mental stress. So many aspects which in everyday life we are coming across. As a medical students, as a nursing students of Dr. NTR Health University, many of the people are working in COVID centers, COVID care centers, even triage centers, and even hospitals and ICU setups, including doctors, junior doctors, and students. I understand everybody is under stress because of this humanitarian crisis. So today, the program has been planned because, see, as a doctor, when the patient comes, certainly we need to treat them. But before going for the treatment, we need to be healthy, because as a doctor, as a allied health medical fraternity, if we be healthy, then only we can keep others healthy and happy. To keeping these in mind, we thought, why can't we conduct a COVID stress management protocol? Because we are conducting a lot of COVID training. So as a part of COVID training program, we thought, let us conduct a stress management through our ancient system of medicine. Either it is a yoga, or it may be naturopathy, or it may be a stress management system. So today's session is definitely going to enlighten all of us because we want to be healthy. If we are healthy, then only we can help others to be a healthy person. And if we are not healthy, then certainly it is very difficult to help others. So with this very brief welcome note, I once again, on behalf of Dr. NTR Health University, NSSL, welcome you all for this August gathering. Certainly this program is going to give you the take-home message. Certainly this is a trainer's training program. And this program, we are going to have a presentation by Dr. Srinivasa Garu. So who will be teaching the way how you can manage or combat yourself in the COVID stress. And certainly, if it is going to become a successful, we will definitely keep one more program where really we teach them you online some of the sukshma vyayamalu, so some of the pranayamalu, so that you can follow everything and you can teach your family members in the stressful time. Definitely, you can combat your hormonal level, and certainly you be healthy and make others healthy and happy. So thank you very much once again for giving me opportunity, Registrar Sir and Vice Chancellor Sir, for making me to host this program. Thank you, Manasa. You can continue.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Shyama Prasad Garu, to inaugurate the program with inaugural address.
Shyama Prasad Sir, you are unmuted. Yes, sir. Please speak, sir.
Hello.
Sir, it is audible, sir.
Right. Dear friends, Dr. Shankar, Dr. Vivek, Dr. Srinivasa Rao Garu, various coordinators, principals, administrators, students, NSS volunteers, we remember the day in which we started our work last year in the first COVID wave. What a great work you have done in the field of COVID management, and we are able to survive the first COVID wave. The second COVID wave, of course, there is some mismanagement at lower levels, and God's grace, we are survived till today. Now the COVID incidence has been declining slow one by one, and we have several sequelae of so-called stress due to COVID. They should be, at least we should manage with our yoga, exercise, and other things apart from our drugs. And in this particular event, we want to conduct an event like that, and Dr. Srinivasa Rao is kindly consented to give you the various practical aspects of yoga and exercises. Yoga seems to be one of our ancient Indian system which has developed and most useful this type of viral infections when patient is under great stress. So what is stress? Stress, by definition, they say the amount of stress, the load taken by surface area. This is by English term, but still we say this stress is called ottidi in Telugu. So how to cope up with that? The most important thing is you have to go with what called yoga, that will be taught by our Professor Srinivasa Rao Garu. Next is simple exercises. You need not go down. That you should not go out for walking and other things. Just moving your limbs properly and decreasing your weight by doing cut short of your calories. Do small exercises, Surya Namaskarams, sitting, standing, like that. And you should plan within your own house. You should not go out and meet people and avoid all places. And again, three important things what we say: we should always use a sanitizer regularly. Next important is mask, double mask nowadays when I go out. And the most important is physical distance of at least 2 to 3 meters. Apart from that, don't go to the functions like marriages where you are invited for some funerals and where gathering occurs. Don't go to any hospital. If you are healthy, be safe at your place. And a small introduction, we request our people to go ahead with the meeting schedule. Thank you very much for giving me this small opportunity in this particular event. Thank you, Vivek.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to introduce Dr. P. Srinivasa Rao Garu to the gathering. It's a great honor to introduce the master trainer, Dr. Parnankal Srinivasarao Garu. Sir is born in Vijayawada, completed his MBBS from Rangaraya Medical College, Kakinada in 1985. Later did his MD in Physiology. Sir had served public for more than 25 years as a successful private medical practitioner in Vijayawada. Sir is presently working in Dr. Pinnamaneni Siddhartha Institute of Medical Sciences, Gannavaram, and is an active practitioner of yoga for the past 20 years and is also a marathon runner. Sir speaks many languages like Telugu, Kannada, Tulu, Hindi, English languages, with Kannada being his mother tongue. To Sir's credit, presented many academic presentations and being a resource person for many national and international conferences and conventions. Sir is also a BLS and first aid trainer. Sir is also a social worker and organized many health related camps and programs like menstrual hygiene, breast cancer, and cervical cancer awareness. Sir published many national and international papers. I'm happy to say Sir also worked as NSS Program Officer and Secretary of IMA Vijayawada, founder and present president of Arogya Bharati NGO. Did a lot of COVID relief activities under this banner and doing now too. With this brief, I welcome and request Sir to address the gathering.
Thank you, Ajna. Respected Honorable Vice Chancellor of Dr. NTR Health University, Shyam Prasad Garu, Honorable Registrar Dr. Shankar, and my dear friend Dr. Vivek, all the people who have gathered today. Thank you very much for this invitation which you have given me to share my views about how to manage stress with yoga and exercise. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Okay, thank you. And it first line of defense.
You can go in a PowerPoint mode, sir.
Okay. So stress management with yoga and exercise, which is the first line of defense for enhancing immunity. Because this time we have seen that people who have low immunity are getting the disease, and when they are treated by the drugs, they are also getting some fungal infections, which shows that the immunity is becoming zero in them. So today's topic mainly will be dealing with this, about how we can improve our immunity. Before we actually go into yoga, I think all of you know that this system of yoga, that is Yoga Sutras, was started by sage Patanjali, was also very good in grammar. So before I actually go into the talk, I would like to say a small prayer in honor of him. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarotam pravaram munina patanjalim pranjalilanatosmi. So this is in remembrance of this great man who has given mankind this wonderful knowledge of yoga. So now we are all having this: stay home, stay safe. If we are safe, nation is safe. And whatever I'm going to talk today is not with my own experience, or it is not from the people, what they talk about. It is all scientific, and most of it is from the Ministry of Ayush, which has given clear-cut guidelines for yoga. Everything is evidence-based and nothing is by hearsay. So if you not only do this, you can do it with the family members in your house, and you can spread this knowledge about yoga to others also, how they can improve their immunity, because NSS has an important role in educating the public about this knowledge. See, there are three types of mindsets that we come across during these COVID times. First one is denial. Do everyone know Telugu? All of
Sir,
you know Telugu?
we are having people around India.
Okay. Right. So it is denial. Denial means, suppose we got the news that COVID started in China. Then we'll think, oh, it is in China, it will not come to India. Then they will say COVID has come to some European countries. Then we'll say, oh, it will come to European countries because they have some business transactions with them. Then they said it has come to India. Then we will say, oh, it will not come to Andhra Pradesh because Bombay and Delhi are the places where people keep coming. So we have nothing to worry. Then we'll hear that it has come to Andhra Pradesh. Then we'll say it will not come to Vijayawada or to the place that we are living. Then we will hear that it has come to the place we are living. Finally, we will hear that someone we know very well has been affected by that. So till that time, we are in a denial mode. That means we think that the disease will not come to us. Then after that comes the second state of mind, that is called anxiety. When we hear that someone very close to us has got, suppose you have a small cold, you think that it is COVID. Suppose you are not able to, your mother didn't prepare it well, the food. So the taste is a little bad. You will think that maybe my taste is being lost. So over anxiety, you become hypochondriac. You think that all small things, all the symptoms that you have heard, all the symptoms that you have seen in WhatsApp or Facebook, you will be getting. So that is the state of anxiety. Finally, suppose someone diagnoses a patient with COVID. There are two ways in which he reacts. One is he accepts the disease and tries to come over it, because as you all know, 99% of the people have come out of it. And in Andhra Pradesh, only 0.7 people have died. That means 99.3 people have recovered. But 5% of the people will be coming to the hospital. But 95% of the people will not be coming to the hospital. That we have to keep telling the patients. When someone calls you, tell him there is nothing to worry. 95% of the people have recovered. Only 5% of the people have joined the hospital, and out of them, only 0.7% of the people have died. Otherwise, what will happen? They will keep on thinking over it. They will go into depression. I think you must have heard about people jumping from third floor or fourth floor of the hospital and committing suicide. Actually, one of the patients in our college also jumped from the third floor, but he didn't die. But I'm telling you, this is the type of effect the disease is having on the mind. First, there is denial. Then there is anxiety, and finally there is depression. So the objective of my today's topic is how to improve the general immunity among the population, not only amongst the students, among the general population. Rehabilitation, that means there are vulnerable groups, like for example, small children or people with diabetes, people with hypertension, all these people, and people who are in isolation or quarantine with or without mild symptoms. How to improve their immunity. That means they have some comorbid condition, or they might have got the disease and they are in the mild stage of the disease. Third important thing, objective of mine is to add on yoga-based interventions and meditation practices in COVID-19 cases in isolation and hospitalization. So not only you learn about these practices, you have to try to implement these practices in isolation centers. For example, we are running 3 isolation centers in Andhra Pradesh. So every day we have yoga practice for all the patients. They are far off. There is a stage there. They are in the red zone area. We are in the gray zone area. One yoga teacher goes and does yoga for 1 hour. This has shown wonderful relief. Though we take only mild cases in isolation centers, I am telling you the idea about how we can make use of the knowledge that we are going to gain today. So there are 8 limbs of yoga, out of which we are very, very familiar with asanas and pranayama. Nowadays, pranayama also. But remember, Yama, Niyama are the first two important things which we don't pay much interest about. What is Niyama? Yama. Yama means general goodwill beings. For example, ahimsa, non-harming. That means you should not harm any people. You should always speak the truth. You should not steal from others. You should not have a jealousy from towards others. All this comes under Yama. So first we should be having all these characteristics. Then Niyama. Niyama means cleanliness, contentment. All this comes under Yama. So first two branches are Yama and Niyama. Asanas, I think all of you know, they are the postures. Pranayama is the breathing. Pratyahara is control of the senses, which is very, very important nowadays because we have lost control of the senses. We can't sit for half an hour without our cell phone or without some engagement. We always want to live outside. We don't want to live within ourselves. So that is Pratyahara. Dharana is a continuous concentration, a concentration which is continuous. And Dhyana is meditation and Samadhi is absolute bliss. So these are the 8 limbs. These are not the 8 steps of yoga. Remember, these are not steps. That means it is not that first you have to do Yama, then Niyama, then Asana, then Pranayama. All of them should be done together. So that's why I have shown here as the branches of a tree. All are equally important, and final goal is to have a very, very clear and happy mind and a healthy body. First, we talk about pranayama. Pranayama means, in general English terms, it is breathing exercises. Today, I'll be talking about a few only, like Nadi Shodhana, which is very easy to do, Kapalbhati, Bhramari, and Bhastrika. Rest of the pranayamas are also important, but not for today's class. Nadi Shodhana pranayama you might have seen. You breathe through one nostril and leave out through the other nostril. The breath should be slow, steady, and controlled. You take a deep breath from one nostril. You can do that. You close one nostril, take a deep breath from that side, and remove and blow it out from the other side. Initially, start the practice with few repetitions. Gradually, you have to increase the number of repetitions. And when you take in an inhalation, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you are breathing out, you count till 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That means double the time you have to breathe out. So you take it for some time and breathe out for double the time. What this does is, it takes care of the sympathetic and parasympathetic balance. See, all of us have in autonomic nervous system 2 things. One is called sympathetic, parasympathetic. Sympathetic is what is important during stress. That means suppose we want to run from a place, or suppose we want to get away from some problem. There the sympathetic system will be working. Parasympathetic works best when we are relaxed. But remember, always there should be a balance between the sympathetic and parasympathetic. Then only the person will be free from disease. But unfortunately, now our sympathetic is overworked and parasympathetic is underworked. So with this Nadi Shodhana pranayama, we will be able to balance the sympathetic and parasympathetic activity. Next, we come to Kapalbhati. So Nadi Shodhana is breathing from one nostril and leaving out to the other with some retention inside. Kapalbhati is, see, all these are available in the net in YouTube. So you can see that and you can practice. Nothing is going to happen, because some people will tell, without a teacher, if you do this, something bad will happen. Nothing very bad will happen. There are detailed videos in the net. You can go through them, and it is very easy. It is not very difficult also. But for people who are elderly and those who have hypertension and all, I ask them to go and learn all this from teachers. Whereas for you students, it is very easy. You can do it by looking at the YouTube videos. Okay. Here you raise your hands, take a deep breath, and you blow out the breaths. You blow out the breaths very fast. So you have to do it like Kapalbhati means it is called shining of the skull. The skull shines. So you take small deep breaths. Like that you keep on doing. So it helps to clear the frontal sinuses, and this is very good as a preparatory exercise for pranayama. So all the secretions which are there in the nostrils will be dried up by this pranayama. And remember, pranayama is important in COVID also. Not only it relaxes the mind, pranayama is important to improve the lung functions. I'll be telling how later on. So that is about Kapalbhati. Then Bhramari. Bhramari is putting out a sound like Om, humming sound of the bee. Bhramari means the humming sound of the bee. Sound. That sound is supposed to release nitric oxide. Research has also been done regarding this. That will release nitric oxide in the lungs. And when nitric oxide is released, as you all know, nitric oxide is a vasodilator. And one of the important things which happens in COVID is there is a vasoconstriction and there is clot formation in the lung vessels. So there is no diffusion of the gases. So Bhramari, if you regularly do it, because of this nitric oxide, will cause an improvement of the blood circulation to the ciliary epithelium. It also has some anti-inflammatory effect. So I think all of you know what is the dead space. What is the normal amount of air that you breathe in? Anyone has any idea? Tidal volume. What is the tidal volume? Yajna, you know? Physiology, you forgot?
Sir, 500.
Excellent. Very good. Excellent. So 500 ml is the normal tidal volume. Out of the normal tidal volume, 150 ml goes to the dead space. Okay, isn't it? Not bad. You still remember physiology. Very good. So 150 ml goes to the dead space. There are two types of dead spaces. One is called anatomical dead space, which we cannot do anything from the nose up till the terminal bronchioles. Whereas second one is called physiological dead space. Physiological dead space means alveoli are there, but the alveoli are closed. These are the reserve spaces. That means, remember, the lung has some parts of the alveoli which generally in a normal person will not be working. But suppose you are a runner or suppose you do regular exercise, all those will be opening up. All those will be opening up so that the diffusion will be happening very fast. So those spaces are called physiological dead space. So by doing this pranayama, yoga and exercise, you will be opening up the physiological dead space. That's why the diffusion of the gases will be very, very easy. Next, it improves ventilation because the diaphragm is strengthened. It improves ventilation. And because the circulation is increased, it improves diffusion. That means the oxygen from the atmosphere will be entering into the blood. What is the normal oxygen in the atmosphere? Do you know? Yes, 21%. 21% is the normal oxygen which is present in the atmosphere. So with that, we'll be having about more than 95% saturation normally. Saturation means the amount of oxygen which is attached to the hemoglobin. So that will be happening if there is good diffusion. Then because of the Bhramari pranayam, there is an increase in the nitrous oxide, which improves the blood circulation to the alveoli and also causes a decrease in the inflammation. Now, those are the important things that you have to know about pranayama. Anulom Vilom is for the balance between the sympathetic and parasympathetic. Kapalbhati is to improve the oxygen saturation. Ujjayi pranayama also is for improving the oxygen saturation. Bhramari is for increasing the nitrous oxide to improve the circulation to the alveoli. And now, because India in its UNO, United Nations organization, have become the leaders of yoga all over the world. Now there is an International Day of Yoga which is celebrated next month. So I think all of you should practice the common yoga protocol. There is a common yoga protocol which is given to all colleges. It is given to NSS volunteers. It is given to all government offices. so that on 21st of June, you will be able to do that protocol. Because this year we have Corona, all of you can do it in your house. You can record it. You can ask someone to record it and you can upload it to NSS. It will be a really great thing if Dr. NTR Health University will be able to get each and every NSS volunteer to do this common yoga protocol and upload it to the website, because I tell you, this will definitely be a thing which should not be thought by anyone else, and it will definitely give a very good name for our NTR Health University. Because last time was the first time that Dr. NTR Health University entered a yoga competition. Did you know that? First time we entered a national yoga competition was last year. Not last year, not 2019, not 2020, 2019. And two of the students were from Dr. Brindan Siddhartha College. So that's why I still remember. Two of them were from Siddhartha, Brindan Siddhartha, two from NRI, one from the Ayurvedic College. So we can do wonders with this yoga protocol. Okay. It has been designed by experts. So it is not at all dangerous. It is easy for everyone to do. Only thing is you have to follow the protocol and do it according to the protocol. And regular practice on an empty stomach is recommended to improve immunity. Remember that. Most of the time it has to be on an empty stomach. But that does not mean that you have to do it only in the morning. Empty stomach means any time 1.5 hours after taking food. Suppose you had breakfast, after 1.5 hours you can do it. It is also considered to be an empty stomach. Then I have given modules also which have been recommended by the Government of India. 20 minutes module, 10-minute module is also there. The complete yoga protocol takes about 1 to 1 hour 15 minutes, but 20-minute protocol is there, 10-minute protocol is there, which you can ask the adults, youths and elderly to do it twice a day. Apart from this, there are things called Jalanetri, Sutranetri, Vastrika Kriyas, which I will not be talking today, but if you are interested, I'll be giving this PowerPoint to Dr. Vivekanand, and he'll be sending it to you. You can practice all that. But for this, you have to go to a yoga teacher. You cannot have it offline. Now coming to immunity. How can we improve our immunity? Most of us talk only about one type of immunity, that is acquired immunity. Finally, it has been proved that if we take a vaccination only, we are going to come out of this crisis. So taking a vaccination and improving our antibodies, that is called acquired immunity. But remember, our ancient seers had gone one step earlier, long time back, but we have forgotten that knowledge. They knew how to improve the inherent immunity which is already there in all of us. For example, just imagine a person from a friend or a relative of yours who comes from America and he eats one mirkai bhaji outside. What will happen? The person has to be admitted into the hospital because of diarrhea and dehydration, because he does not have immunity at all. They have gone very, very far from nature. Those people have gone very, very far from nature by being very, very hygienic. But we are not so far away. We still are there, closer to nature than them. We all have innate immunity. Where does this innate immunity survive in a normal human being? Because we take air from the nose, innate immunity is present in the lungs. Because we eat food through the mouth, innate immunity is there in the intestines. So wherever there is some connection between the external atmosphere and the internal milieu, there you have special group of cells which are going to look after this first line of defense, which is called the innate immunity. For example, littoral cells are present in the lungs. Like that, you have Peyer's patches in the intestines. So you have different, in the liver also there are these areas which are helpful for innate immunity. What this does is, whenever there is a bacteria which enters, they fight. They swallow that bacteria, they swallow that virus, and they produce something, another protein material, which resembles the antigen which it has absorbed. So what the body does is, body produces some antibodies which look similar to the antibodies which the disease would have produced. So by this, next time when the person eats something like that, already his body is accustomed to that, and so he is able to control the infection better than a person who has not been exposed to that. So this is about innate immunity. That's why people ask you to take more of buttermilk when you are having this infection. What it does is, lactobacillus are present in the intestines, and the intestine is full of bacteria, and all these bacteria are protected. I mean, our body is protected from these bacteria by producing some pseudo antibodies which look like real antibodies, and so will prevent the disease from happening. That is very, very important. So much of our food items that we take is based on this theory that inflammation can be controlled and inherent immunity can be developed by particular foods. That is about innate immunity and acquired immunity. So by doing yoga, we have every chance of developing innate immunity. The important things is, it has to be performed. Yoga is not a fast exercise, or it is not a Zumba dance. So don't do it like a dance. It has to be performed slowly in a relaxed manner. And the body should not be held very tightly, and there should not be any jerks in the body. It should be as though the one movement is flowing into the other movement. It should be slow and steady. And remember, yoga is not something like a competition. We are so used to seeing yoga competitions that we think that we have to attain that perfect stance. Remember, yoga is not at all a competition. It is depending upon your own physical capacity. So don't try to overdo things by seeing some picture, or you see some video where the person has done the perfect posture. Don't do that. Do according to your own physical capacity. Otherwise, you'll be causing harm. And in the beginning, you do it for a small time. I told you 10 minutes is there, 20 minutes is there, and then you can go and continue it for a longer time. Before you do that, you have to do some Sukshma Vyayams, are like some neck movements, shoulder rotation, trunk movements, knee movements, all this. These will help to facilitate asana practice. So before you do the yoga, you have to do this Sukshma Vyayams. Then you have different postures, which is there in the yogic protocol. In the end, it is there. So I'm not going to, these are all standing postures, which you do standing. Only thing you have to remember is, when you are standing, don't close your eyes. When you are standing, your all eyes have to be open. Don't close your eyes when you are standing, because if you lose your balance, you will fall down. So all standing asanas, you have to remember, keep your eyes open. That is one important thing. Sitting postures. Sitting postures are all relaxing postures. Bhadrasana is for the pelvic muscles. This is a very good asana. It is very good for the, in females, for the uterus and the ovaries also. And it is very good for the rectum lower part. It is Mooladhara. It is called Mooladhara. All those things, this is very good. Pelvic part. Ardha Ustrasana is the half camel pose. Yeah. This is the half camel. This is actually complete Ustrasana only. Ustrasana. Shashankasana is the rabbit pose. This is good for digestion. This is good for the back muscles. Vakrasana is very good for stimulating the pancreas. It is very good asana for diabetics. Back asanas. See, one common thing which is very, very easily made out, but we are not paying much attention, is back pain. I have seen medical students having back pain. It's a shame that you have back pain at such a young age. I ask them to do only one thing. You stand up and try to touch the floor without bending your knees, I tell them. Most of them are not able to do that. That means your back muscle has already become hard. Once the back muscle becomes hard, that means it has become weak. For example, if you put a rubber band in the sun, what will happen? Elasticity is lost. It becomes hard. So if your back muscle should be strong, then it has to be elastic. So that's why you have to do all these postures slowly in the beginning for strengthening your back muscles. Then you will definitely not be having any pain. And these are the opposite for that. Pavan Muktasana. This is also good for digestion. This you can do after taking food also. Setu Bandhasana or the bridge pose. This is also good for the back. Then after doing all the asanas, you have to be in Shavasana for about 15 minutes so that the heat which is generated in the body will be dissipated and you will get up very relaxed. So that is the last asana, which is the Savasana. Then you have the Surya Namaskars. As sir was telling, to become thin or to become fat is very easy nowadays. Because you are staying at home, not doing exercises, all of you are going to put on weight, which is very, very difficult to lose later on. So that's why it is very important for you that you do the Surya Namaskars daily. There are 12 poses in Surya Namaskar on the whole. If you do that, each and every muscle of your body is stimulated. There is pressure on each and every muscle and blood flow will increase in each and every muscle and all your joints and bones are going to become strong. So I sincerely request all of you to do at least 5 minutes. That means 5 rounds of Surya Namaskar every day, at least once a day. Then we have Pratyahara, that is Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is not closing your eyes and sleeping. Yoga Nidra means closing your eyes and being in a state where it looks like you are sleeping, but your mind is still. It has not gone to sleep. See, what is the difference between a mind being still and sleep is, when you sleep, you don't know. You are completely unconscious when you are sleeping. But in Pratyahara, you are in a state of mind where you are acutely aware of everything, but your mind is not having any thought. The mind is not going out anywhere. So in this Pratyahara, your mind is 100% active, but there are no thoughts. Only thing is, most of us will fall asleep when we are in this state. So you shouldn't fall asleep. And sometimes we get questions. Don't ask any questions. Gradually increase the duration of practice. This is a wonderful way of balancing the sympathetic and parasympathetic. All the sympathetic activity is lost in this. There are areas in the brain where adrenaline is produced. I think you know that. Ceruleus is a place where the adrenaline is produced. All these areas will be reduced. Activity there will be reduced. More amount of dopamine will be produced. It helps to rejuvenate the whole body and calm the mind. Finally, Dharana and Dhyana, where you are aware of the breath. You close your eyes, you breathe in slowly, breathe out slowly. And your total concentration should be on the breathing. Don't open your eyes, don't shake your body, don't be judgmental. That means don't get thoughts. This is very good in reducing the stress hormones. So what you have seen is, most of the times while doing all this, your stress hormones are reduced, your sympathetic activity is decreased, your parasympathetic activity is increased. So there is a balance between the sympathetic and parasympathetic, and there is a reduction in the steroid hormones, that is the cortisols. So both of these is going to reduce your anxiety, it is going to balance your mind, and definitely it is going to improve immunity. As you know, if there is cortisol, the immunity is reduced. If there is less amount of cortisol, the immunity is increased. So these are all the exercises for the protocol. You can go through it later on. Then exercises. Exercises also, you have to do it carefully. And in exercises, you have to remember, don't overdo things. You have to see your limit. You have to always start with the warm-up exercises. There are different warm-up exercises here. After the warm-up exercises only, you go to do the regular exercise. Because I know people who don't want to do exercise, what they do, they overdo exercise one day, then they say that I had pain. And remember, all these exercises which I'm showing you here is what you can do at home. As our Honorable Vice Chancellor told, don't go out to for running, walking, or doing any exercise. You can do that at home. You can do it safely, and it is a very nice way of reducing your weight, increasing the circulation to all parts of the body, and increasing the diffusion capacity of your lung by doing this. So do the warm-up exercises, loosen the joints. So all these are warm-up exercises. Loosen the joints. These are all the things. Circuit training means you are trying to increase the strength of your muscles. That means you have two types of exercises, aerobic exercise and anaerobic exercise. Here you are trying to bring pressure on the muscle without change in length, and you are going to increase the strength of the muscle. What will happen when you increase the strength of the muscle? Circulation will be increased, mitochondria will be increased, and each and every cell of your body will become active. Remember, by doing pranayama and yoga, what you are doing is you are taking respiration to the cellular level. That means the air that you are taking in will finally reach the tissues. In the tissues, it reaches the cells. In the cells, it touches the mitochondria, and in the mitochondria, the breathing will happen. So by doing all this, you are stimulating the mitochondria in the cell. So this is a wonderful science, which unfortunately is not given much importance in our country, but now at least it has been recognized all over the world. So that's why we too are doing it. After doing that, after doing the exercises, remember, just as warming up exercises are important, cooling down exercises are also important. Without doing the cooling down exercises, don't have your bath, don't have your breakfast. First you cool down, the body's heat has to be dissipated, because in Yogasana, we did Shavasana, if you remember. That is for dissipating the heat. Here you have to do the cooling exercises, and only you have to, best thing is stretch yourself, and only you stop the action. And finally, immunity boosting by taking food. As Sir told, don't take anything from outside. Drink plenty of water. Daily practice yoga and pranayama. Use spices like turmeric. See, most of the spices are anti-inflammatory. Understood? Inflammation is one serious complication which happens in COVID also, in any infection. Or suppose a person is a diabetic, his body will be having plenty of inflammation. Suppose the patient is having cholesterol, in him also plenty of inflammation. Suppose the person is stout, fat cells also causes inflammation. So we see that this inflammation is the cause of so many diseases. So that's why if you take food which contains these anti-inflammatories, they will be working like medicines, but in very small doses, in very physiological doses, which will be causing very good therapeutic effect. You don't have to use high doses. So all these are the things which are easily available. Ginger, black pepper, turmeric. And you'll be surprised, all these are there in the medicine of that person from Nellore. Some person is giving some medicine, Ayurvedic medicine. All these things are there in that medicine. So you don't have to take that medicine. You can take this in your house only, and you can be very happy with this, because mild infection is very easy to control. Though you get it, it will always be mild. But if you are careful, you will not be getting it. So daily eat homemade food. Do not consume stale food, fermented items, items made of maida, like biscuits, all those things. Then maida, you have, what's that called? Noodles. Which is a favorite nowadays. 2 minutes noodles. So eat noodles, you think that you are going to get immunity. You will definitely not get it. It is improved that these are not good. They are refined flours. So refined flours are not good. As much as possible, avoid junk food, cool drinks, and fridge water. Do not consume cross-contamination food. That means food from outside. Someone has brought it. Don't take that food. Don't eat anything which is stored in the fridge for too long. Best thing is take vegetables. Any vegetable which is available is very good. ginger, drumstick, pumpkin, bottle gourd, bitter gourd, everything. Every vegetable is good. So maintain cleanliness in and around the home for all the individuals. Avoid unnecessary visits, like our Honorable Vice Chancellor told. Wear a disposable mask, preferably a double mask nowadays. Wash your hands properly. Avoid unnecessarily touching the eyes, nose and mouth. By doing all this, you will definitely lead a healthy life, and you can advise others also to do this so that they too can lead a healthy life. Stay away from these patients. Do light pranayama and exercise. Have a meal once a day and a light meal before sunset. Another problem we have is just because we are at home, we keep on eating something. Mother also will be giving, Ammo Papa Baba they come and give so many things. We also demand so many things, and we keep on eating from morning till night. That is very bad. Take meals only twice or thrice a day. And don't take any small tiffin like things after taking food. Suppose you had your lunch, don't take some small snacks like thing immediately. Lunch is lunch, dinner is dinner. Let them be separate. So these are the 10 minutes yoga and 20 minutes yoga. This PowerPoint will be given to you. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. So here is the great Swami Vivekananda telling, all power is within you. You can do anything and everything if you have your mind to it. So apply your mind to it. Do whatever has been told today. It is very easy. Once you start doing, you get the kick out of it. For example, I started marathon after I completed my 55 years. I became a marathon runner after my 55 years. Once I started running, the kick that I get when I run is unbelievable. I mean, you feel so healthy. You don't have a BP, you don't have sugar, you don't have any chronic problem, you don't have joint pains, you don't have back pains. So you keep yourself very, very, very nice. It is such a nice feeling. So once you start doing this, you will be getting that feeling. So the power is within you only. You can do everything and anything. Thank you very much, sir, for giving me this opportunity of interacting with the students. If anyone has any doubts, can ask me for 5 minutes, and after that we can close. Anyone has any doubts can ask me. I'll be giving the yoga protocol, and have already given to Dr. Vivekanand the government protocols, Ayush protocols for yoga and naturopathy also, which if you go through it, you'll be getting a better idea about what to do. And as Dr. Vivekanand told, if you could have a special session of how to do it, at least the pranayamas of how to do it, it will be of real benefit to all of you. Thank you very much for NTR Health University to coming out with this wonderful idea of making all of you interested in yoga, exercise, so that you can improve the immunity and help in saving the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now the session is open. If those people who wants to ask, they can put in a chat box. The chat box question will be read to sir, and sir can answer. I think until we receive any questions, Manasa can continue the program. Thank you, sir. Sir, you can stop sharing the screen, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with this session. Now I request university authorities to present certificate of appreciation to our master trainer, Dr. P. Srinivas Rao.
What, Vivekanand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am showing, sir, because my screen is locked. So I need to share. So I don't have opportunity to share because already sir is sharing. So I need to make myself as a co-host. Then only I can do that sharing, sir. Amma, you can continue until I share myself.
Okay, sir. Now I request our Honorable Registrar Dr. Shankar Garu to conclude the program by addressing the gathering.
Sir,
Okay.
Will give the certificate of appreciation, then you can give the concluding remarks, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I am sharing the certificate, sir.
I think there is some technical problem.
Sir,
I
no,
think,
sir. It is shown, sir. Yes, sir, thank you very much, Srinivas, sir.
Thank you.
This is a small token of appreciation from NSSL Dr. NTR Health University for giving a training session on COVID stress management, yoga and exercise as a first line of defense for enhancing immunity. Even though this was a brief program, so thank you very much for your time, sir. Certainly, we'll keep some of the training sessions in future for the benefit of our volunteers and students. Thank you, sir. Manasa, you can continue.
Now I request our Honorable Registrar Dr. Shankar Garu to conclude the program by addressing the gathering.
Good evening, all. And
evening.
very good evening to our Vice Chancellor Syam Prasad Garu and our organizer Vivekananda Garu and NSS team Manasa. And today the main resource person Srinivas Rao Garu. So he is a professor of physiology, Dr. P. Sims and RF. And so we appreciate, sir. We appreciate the excellent narration you made by you. So this is a very the yoga, especially yoga, as sir told, it takes only around 15 minutes and 15 minutes. So you need not take hours together as per Srinivas Rao Garu. And you should, I think, you can practice and whenever it is possible to you, for all NSS volunteers and others, and possible and feasible, you can practice. You can practice this yoga, but not only for COVID purpose, for any other purpose also you can make it. But before going to my comments regarding this, not about the yoga. So this is one our famous Indian poet and poet and writer and reformist in India, especially that is the AP, Andhra Pradesh, from Andhra Pradesh, that is Sri Gurajada Apparao Garu. So almost very long back, 120 years back, he has given a slogan or sentence. So that I will read in Telugu. Then I will convert into English. That is Desamante Matti Kadoy, Desamante Manushuloy. Isromani Manushulunte, Desametla Bagupadanoy. So this is the slogan told by given by the Gurajada Apparao 120 years back, not now. So this is the meaning of this one. The country is not that is the soil is not the country. Soil is not the country. That is the people of the country, and healthy people. Healthy people is the country. So for the development of the country, to shine the country, to have this shine, a country should have healthy people. That is the meaning of this Gurajada Apparao slogan. So country should have, country should develop. For the development of the country, for the shining of the country, we need healthy people. And here we are having, I read just now, that's yoga guidelines, yoga and naturopathy guidelines given by the Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. So people will get the good immune response or good immunity if you follow the, if you balance the psychological stress and second is physical fitness, and third is the physical activity, and fourth is the nutrition, and fifth is the sleep, and sixth is the comorbidities. So very good. So excellent. We need it. Definitely we need it. But one question here, all of a sudden, can you get all these factors? Can you attain this factor? Is it possible? It is impossible. It is impossible. Anybody can tell by getting all these 6 factors. No human being get suddenly. If you need, will not get it. So it should come from the childhood. It should come from the childhood. So to adopt these factors, which was given by the Ayush guidelines, from the childhood shelf, we should have all these factors. So in the childhood, so what will be there in childhood? Childhood surrounded by the 4 factors. So our childhood surrounded everybody in anywhere in the country. So our childhood surrounded by the 4 stakeholders. So the first stakeholder is the family. Family is the most vital. Second stakeholder is the school or schooling. School or schooling. This is second stakeholder, and third stakeholder is the society. And fourth is the government, rulers, ruling people. So these are all the 4 stakeholders are the main major role to provide all these elements to boost up our immunity. So suppose you take the first most important is the scientific knowledge and scientific orientation. Scientific knowledge, having the scientific knowledge and scientific orientation is very, very vital for the development of the country. But many parts of the developing country, especially in India, all developing countries, of course, in India. So we are very, very poor at the scientific knowledge and scientific orientation. Even the highly educated people also now they have no scientific knowledge in many aspects, including the regard the COVID also. So many people, they are not appreciating unable to appreciate the importance of the usage of the mask. So how it will prevent virus also, many people they don't know. How to use the mask also they don't know. So this is due to lack of scientific knowledge only. And even and vaccination also. So vaccination, many people rejecting this vaccination initially. And now also people are, if you take the UP and people are running away by fear of taking the vaccine. So it will kill the people like that. They are telling like that. So lot of phobias, lot of false beliefs, lot of superstition flooded with the country. So can you achieve anything with these superstitions? The intellectuals who are hearing my lesson, my speech, have to answer for this one. You cannot achieve anything. So unless you have to kill this all the superstitions and a lot of problems. So we cannot remove these superstitions because all our pictures, to take all our pictures and all our serials, TV serials, and all our what we can say, YouTube as well as Facebook, everything they are telling about the following, how to follow, what to have to follow about the superstitions, how to achieve. They're very, very ridiculous. So these are all the things we have to think. Otherwise, we cannot get scientific knowledge. Without scientific knowledge, we cannot prevent any disease, not only COVID, any disease also we cannot prevent. Even what the Srinivas Rao had told about the yoga also, there should be some scientific knowledge. So what he told you heard very nicely, that is about it's a balance of the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems. So yoga, you should make the balance. That is a scientific background also. To understand also, scientific orientation is there. So unfortunately in India, it is not having. The central government and state government have to bring the act, that is the Anti-Superstition Act. So anti-superstition. Fortunately, some states having this Maharashtra is having anti-superstition. That's why, that is the reason. That state is a part of India. So they followed the Dharavi model. Dharavi model, how it is success, how it became successful means this is due to the, they have some scientific anti-superstition act is there, the people is able to grasp the scientific knowledge also. So I can say this one. So these are all the things we have to think once. And the second thing is the nutrition. So people are telling about the nutrition. Every open if you the YouTube and all these things they are telling about the eat this one, that one, like this. So you minimum common sense, minimum knowledge also should be there to tell all these things. Only few people, that is creamy people, can follow this one. And nobody can follow this diet, nutrition, good diet. Nobody in India in the situation cannot take it a good nutrition, because now the middle class, any family will have 5 people. So eating good, that is advising the dry foods and nuts, and they are advising everybody through YouTube and Facebook and everything. Is it possible? It's impossible. A 5-member family can purchase dry nuts and this what you can say, all other costly vegetables and fruits is a very, very impossible task for us. So, and even the available nutrition who are eating the people, also this is grown by the completely by pesticides. What is using the agriculturists, they are using pesticides. We need organic products. But to purchase the organic product, is it possible for the common man, middle class man? No, again, we cannot purchase the organic grown products. That is, these are all the things we have to see. The intellectuals of this country have to think about all these things. So we cannot achieve immediately public health in a minutes or seconds. We have to think all these things. And another thing is the that is the control over the no control over the drug misuse. So drug abuse, or I can say drug abuse. So drug abuse. So country flooded with the utility of the alcohol and nicotine products, cigarette smoking, and many things are there, and also other available drugs, drug abuse like cocaine and many things also are available. There is no control of abuse of the drugs in country. Sometimes we are encouraging also. So that is another point. So first we have to reduce these factors especially. And fourthly, I can say that the overuse of the drugs. Overuse means now after allopathic medicine grown, so overuse by all the people directly, they are going to medical stores. So whatever tablet, whatever injection, whatever syrup, whatever capsule you want, they will give without prescription. So there is no control over the prescription in India, especially and developing countries, and especially India. So that's why people are going to directly medical store and taking multiple tablets and multiple issues, because they're unable to go to the practitioners due to fear of the cost. That is another event. Why they are going, why they are getting wonderful thousands of the drugs available in medical stores. Very good business for all the medical stores. In the only business, the profitable business in the country is the only putting a medical store only. No other business is there, because the people, due to this financial burden, they are approaching the medical stores and buying unnecessary drugs, overusing of the drugs. We have to stop this modality. And next, that is the as per yoga guidelines itself, I am talking. By pertaining to the yoga guidelines, Ayush guidelines of the released by the Ayush Department, the Minister of Health and Land, I am talking. Not away from these factors, I am not talking. And control of the morbidities, comorbidities, control of the comorbidities. So this fundamentally we need to modify the diet pattern. So without changing the diet pattern, we cannot stop the diseases, that is the lifestyle diseases. Now we are the #1 in the world in diabetes, hypertension, cardiac problems, cancer, every disease, every non-infectious disease, lifestyle disease, kidney diseases, we are the #1. So it's very, very apathetic. So as Gurujada told again, so Isromane Manusulunte Desimetla Bagupane, all people, many people after 30s and 40s, they are getting all lifestyle disorders. So we have to tackle, especially diet, especially I'm urging all the intellectuals on behalf of this disease. So try to encourage the low carbohydrate diet and high fat diet, low carbohydrate diet and high fat diet, which is killing India youth. So already this we have to focus in another dais. It's a very big topic. We'll focus on the another dais. And finally, the end of this topic, last point is the equal financial distribution. So a lot of inequalities in the country existing, especially related to the financial issues. So already I told regarding the nutrition and all these things. So unable to approach the physician, buying the tablets in medical stores, unable to have scientific knowledge. Many issues related to, again, directly linked to the financial situation. And everybody should have the financial security in India. Then only we can develop all the available thing, whatever it is there. We can purchase, we can buy, and we can practice scientific knowledge. We can get the scientific knowledge for every thing. That is also very important. So even sleep, we are telling in yoga, sleep, good sleep. How can I get the good sleep? When I am having many financial problems in my family, for health problems and children's education. So a lot of problems are there in the family. So I cannot get good sleep without rectifying those problems. So with yoga, I don't think I can get. I can remove this financial burden with yoga. So yoga can be done. Yoga can be done. So the people who are having the time, because time also we are wasting time, lot of time. When they are advocating the 15 minutes yoga, this nothing will happen. We can practice it. We can, any benefit from it is we can acquire from this one. So I request all this is NSS program team, program coordinator, and other teamwork people. You are organizing very nice programs, educating the people. In COVID time, we are unable to physically. NSS means not through the voice. So in acts we have to act. But unfortunately, COVID is unable to give permission to act physically. So without wasting our time, the NSS teams, especially our Vivekananda, is providing opportunities, dayas for many people to express, because nobody is correct. Just sharing of the knowledge, discussions, only discussion. So while doing many discussions, we'll get the outcome. So suppose my words, this may not be correct. So other words may not be correct, but we have to open up the discussion. Then only we'll get the final good yield. So with this, I am concluding my remarks. I'm very thankful for giving this opportunity. And for all the, once again, for the resource person, Vice Chancellor Garu, and audience, and Vivekananda, Manasa, everybody. So nicely arranged, and I request now continue the remaining program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our NSS program coordinator, Dr. Vivekanand Garu, to deliver vote of.
So thank you very much, Manasa. At the outset, this is a time where we are going to close formally. With the permission from our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir Shyam Prasad Garu, and Dr. Shankar Garu, Registrar. Even though, despite a busy schedule, all the programs will be attended by Shankar Sir and Shyam Prasad Sir. I am very much happy and thankful on behalf of NSSL and all the volunteers, whomever I call, for anchoring and arranging programs, even though in the COVID lockdown, so they are helping me. So I thank officials and the volunteers who are readily accepting the invitation and attending the program and giving their valuable thoughts to the students as an inspiration, because it's very important and it's very rare to get a Vice Chancellor and Registrar to address all the occasions for the students. So thank you very much, sir, for your time and patience to give the valuable thoughts, and you are always being the inspiration for all our NSS activities. And now I thank our master trainer. Actually, it was a discussion of 1 week back. We wanted to have some program. Then sir was readily accepted, and he told Vivekanand, let us go ahead and do the program, because this is a time where everybody is inside with a mobile phone and gadgets. Then probably they are bombarding with the online material. So hopefully they should be trained properly. Then they can train their family members. At least let us have some knowledge. So we have to take out the ignorance, so that they can benefit out of thought. So we conducted this program. I thank you very much, sir, for your delivery. Certainly in future, if we could able to get some time to train them physically in your college or physically in the college is near and surrounded by your college, certainly I'll be very happy to invite you on behalf of NTR Health University and on behalf of all NSSLs. Thank you very much, sir. I thank Agna Manasa, NSS volunteer. Actually, she anchored the program very well and smiling, spreading the smile along the people. So where really it makes a sense, even though we are in a stress. Certainly, if you smile, adrenalines will secrete properly and you will make the world happy. That's how the volunteer should be. And certainly you have to spread a positive vibes. The positive vibes will come with a smile. You smile on one person, certainly the smile will come back. If you're having a grudge on another person, you will get a grudge. So it's definitely a law which will have a force against. So always you smile, keep safe, stay safe. And I thank all the participants from various universities across India and various universities in Andhra Pradesh. Apart from my volunteers, there are many people who have joined to make this program successful. So with this, I thank once again the authorities and Prasad, my NSS operator, who will be always there to help us for all the things. And already we have posted feedback form in the chat box. Kindly fill the feedback form so that we can send the certificates to the people who have attended. Thank you very much. With the permission from sir, so we are going to close the program. Then once again we'll come with a once again program on a menstrual hygiene, do's and don'ts for a happy menstrual period on 10th June. So it will be a national-wide program. So once again, we'll be sending the invitation through the WebEx Cisco platform. Certainly, I want all the young girl volunteers, sisters, mothers, everybody can join. It is the open session for everybody, and which will be done by Dr. Shashi Bala, one of the well-known and old gynecologist and obstetrician from Andhra Pradesh. So she is going to chair the program. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, and kindly fill the feedback form. It will be open for only 15 minutes. Those people who will fill the feedback, they will receive the certificate. Thank you once again, and stay safe. Definitely, 2 gaj ka duri, mask hai jaruri. So all of you wear the mask and maintain the distance and COVID appropriate behavior. Certainly, you are going to reduce yourself the burden of COVID disease. And the fraternity of doctors, we are all doctors. Certainly, we will also have a reduction in the burden because of your appropriate behavior. With this short message, I once again thank everyone being here with us to make the program successful. Thank you once again. Bye.
Thank you, sir. All the students kindly fill the form, feedback form, so that you receive a certificate on email after verification. Fill that within 15 minutes. Responses will be closed after 15 minutes. Thank you.